Hey guys, welcome back. You can see we have our beautiful theme displaying. It looks pretty bad, but we're going to actually start to style it a little bit, and we still need to add some other template PHP files as well. So a lot of the code I'm going to actually be pasting in as opposed to typing it out, just because it's quicker. But the entire theme, all the files will be available to you in the program files for each section. So let's get back to our theme, and I want to just add in some styling. When I develop sites, I always include a reset style sheet, and what that does is it just zeroes out the padding and the margin, because different browsers add different default padding and margins to certain elements. Internet Explorer might add 10 pixels to the HTML element, and Firefox might not. So if you just keep it like that and you just put in your styles, it's gonna affect the way it looks in each browser. So I like to include a reset file, and the one I usually use is Eric Meyer's reset. And if you just Google it, you can see this is it. This is the entire thing right here. Alright, so I'm actually going to grab that, and you can see it's just zeroing out the padding, the margin, the border, setting the font size, vertical line, stuff like that. So I'm not going to create a reset.css file. I'm just going to include it right into our main CSS file. So I'm going to save that, and if we reload, what it does is just resets everything, the heading sizes, everything. So now we have a clean slate. This is going to be identical on all browsers. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to add some body styling, and I'm just going to copy and paste some of this stuff. Let's just say we want to end the reset here and paste in some body. Alright, so we got a silver background, 14 pixel default font size, Arial, 1.6 EM line height. The text color will be gray, dark gray. And now I'm going to add in some other core styling. Okay. So what we have here is we're adding some margin to the paragraphs. Links will have no underline and will also be dark gray. We'll add some padding to our lists, heading sizes, images. We're given a margin of 15 so that text isn't all squished up against the images. Alright, so if we save that and reload, we can see our changes. The body is now silver, and the text has changed, font size, and it's now Arial. So let's add some more styling. I'm going to add in the container, and this is going to give us a container of 960 pixels wide. Margin is going to be 0 auto, so that's going to put it right in the middle, and it'll have a border and some padding, and it'll be white. So let's save that, reload. Okay, now it's starting to look better. We actually have a container as opposed to just being thrown in the browser. Let's see, what else do we want to do? I'm going to add in some header styling, and I also want to add some the navigation styling. So header will be 70 pixels high. We'll add some padding. The H1 is going to have padding, and it's going to be floated to the left. It's basically our logo. And then the navigation, the main navigation, will be 35 pixels high. The background will be black. So let's save that and reload. We floated the list items to the left, and it's just, so now it's displayed inline as opposed to being a just a list of links. Alright, so it's coming together. It's going to be a very simple theme, but you know, it's just to learn. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is add in my post styling. Oop. So here we have the main area, which is going to be, it's going to be have a width of 60%, because remember we're going to have a sidebar, so we want this area to be 60%. That looks good. Alright, so we also added the border, and we took the more link, which is the continue reading link, we colored that and we displayed it as a block. That way there's a space above it all the time. It's not in line with the paragraph. So I think now would be a good time to add in the sidebar. If we go to our admin page, if we go to our dashboard, and then we go to appearance, if you remember, we used to have a widgets and a menus link here, which are now gone, and they're gone because the current theme doesn't have that functionality. What we need to do is add that functions.php file and also add those the dynamic sidebar functions. So let's go back and go to our theme folder and create a new file, and we're going to call that functions.php. So what we need to do is register our positions or widgets, whatever you want to call them. So we can do that with register sidebar. Alright, actually we need a PHP tag. So register sidebar, and in that function we need to add an array as a parameter. So I'm going to do array, and I like to space it out here just for readability. And the first value, or the first key of the array, is going to be name. And the value, we actually have to add this double underscore and then parentheses thing. I don't know why, but we have to. It's just a WordPress convention. So in here we'll put the name of the module, I'm sorry, the widget position, which will be first right sidebar. So that's the name. The next key we need is the ID, and the ID will be first right sidebar. So that's all that's mandatory, but we can keep going and we can add a description. I don't know, the widget position in the top right. I don't know, any description. Okay, and now let's do a before title. So what this is we can, whatever we put in between these quotes here will show up right before the title. So what we want to put is an H2 tag. And then we can do the same thing with after title. And we want to put a closing H2 tag. Alright, so that looks good. Now let's copy this whole thing and have a second right sidebar. Alright, so that looks good. Let's save that. Now that alone isn't going to give us our position for our sidebar, we need to go to the sidebar.php file, and we need to add in the dynamic sidebar, and in that function we need to put the parameter, which is the ID, which if we go back to functions and we just grab this ID right here, and then we can copy that. Alright, so save that. Now if we go back to our admin and reload, now we have menus and widgets. So if we click on widgets, we have the first right sidebar position and the second right sidebar. So let me just grab, let's grab the categories. Recent posts. We'll show 3 recent posts, and let's add some recent comments. So I saved those. Now let's go back and reload and see if we have our sidebar. So we have the sidebar, but it's not styled at all. You can see it's overlapping, so I want to add my sidebar CSS, which will float it to the right. It'll make it 25%, and it'll give it a background of gray. So if we save that, go back and reload, now we have our sidebar. Alright, so it's pretty easy. Now I want to add a widget up at the top. I want a search widget right here. Alright, so we need to do the same thing by going to functions. I'll just copy this. Now just because it's registered sidebar doesn't mean it has to be in the sidebar. We will call this one header right. Give it an ID of header right. And okay, save that. Go to sidebar. I'm going to grab this code and I'm going to put it in my header, right in my search. But we want this to be header right. So now the header right widget will display in the header. If we reload, we should have a new position, header right. I'm going to get the search widget. Save. Now if we go back and reload, we have our search. Now we need to, I'm going to add in my styling. Okay, so right under the header H1, I'm going to put my header search, which will float it and position it right there. So now we have a search widget. So we have a few more things to do. If we click on a post right now, it's still using the index.php template. We don't want that. We want to have a single .php template with comment functionality, because right now we don't have any comments or an area for comments. So let's go back and create another file called single.php, and I'm just going to paste in my. Now what this is basically the same thing as index.php, except we have this function call right here, this comments underscore template, and that's going to give us all we need for a comment functionality. You can also see that I've added a line of metadata, which is the author the author function and then the date function. And we're going to also put that inside the index.php right under the h2 title. And we can save that single.php. Now I just want to add in that meta styling. 1 second. I'll put it right under the, right here. So now we have a little styling to that meta line. So let's go back to our site and reload. Whoa. Alright, something went wrong here. Let's go to our index.php file. Oh, we don't have a less than sign in front of that div. Alright, that should fix it. Alright, so now we have a little line of with the author and the date. And if we click on one of the posts, it brings us to the single.php template, which has the comment functionality. So we can say, we can leave a comment, and there it is. So that's all set. So let me see, I think that's pretty much it. If we let's check on the static pages. So if we click on the About Me page, that looks good. Contact, we have our form. Oh, you know what? We don't want this on our main pages. So what we want to do is get that out of the index page, and we want to create a page.php. I forgot about that. So create one more file and save that as page.php, and that's going to be for pages like About Me. So all we need to do is grab the everything from the index PHP file, copy that, and put that in the page.php, but get rid of the meta tag, the meta div. And we can also get, no, that should be good. Alright, so if we save that and go back to the About Me page and reload, that meta line is now gone. And it should still be on the index on the home page. Yeah. Alright, so that looks good. Oh, one other thing I wanted to do was utilize the slogan of WordPress, because we have the site name as the logo. Now I just want to add in the slogan, so we can do that. If we go to header, if we go to header.php, I want it to actually be part of the h1 tag. So from within the h1 tag, I'm going to add in a line break and a span, because I want the slogan to be smaller than the title. I can't talk and type at the same time. Alright, so in between the span, we're also going to use the blog info function here, but we want to make this description. So blog info description will give us the slogan. So if we save that, reload, we can see that our slogan, professional web development blog, is showing, but it's the same size as the site title. So let's just go to the style.css and let's just add in that header span, which will change the font size and change the color. So if we save that, now we have our slogan. And the last thing I want to do is upload a screenshot. So if we go to our htdocs and then to my web dev, WP content, themes, Mojo, I want to grab my screenshot, paste it in here, and as long as it's named screenshot.png, it'll show up in the back end. So let's go back to the back end, go to Appearance Themes. Now we have our screenshot, and we can even click Customize, and we can change our title and our tagline. So if we change this to Awesome Web Development Blog and then save, go back and reload, you can see the slogan has updated as well. So that's it. We created a simple but elegant, well put together WordPress theme. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something from it, and thanks for watching, guys.